Psyche was a mortal princess renowned for her beauty, so extraordinary that her fame spread far and wide. People from distant lands traveled just to gaze upon her, captivated by her radiance. Her beauty was so striking that some even worshipped her, neglecting their offerings to Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. The shift in admiration angered Aphrodite, who was not accustomed to sharing the attention or adoration of mortals. To see a mere mortal revered as more beautiful than herself was a blow to her pride and vanity. Determined to humble Psyche, Aphrodite devised a plan to ruin her happiness. She summoned her son, Eros, the god of love, and instructed him to make Psyche fall deeply in love with the most vile and monstrous creature on earth. This punishment, Aphrodite thought, would diminish Psyche's charm and end her worship. But as fate would have it, when Eros beheld Psyche's beauty, he was struck with an arrow of his own and became enchanted by her, setting into motion an unexpected love story. Driven by jealousy, Aphrodite was outraged that mortals adored Psyche's beauty even more than her own. Determined to humiliate the princess, she summoned her son, Eros, the god of love. She commanded him to use his powers to make Psyche fall in love with the most vile and repulsive creature he could find. Eros, loyal to his mother, set off with his enchanted arrows to fulfill her wishes. When he approached Psyche, though, he was struck by her beauty and innocence. As he raised his arrow to carry out the plan, his hand trembled. In that instant, he accidentally grazed himself with his own arrow, and suddenly, an overwhelming love for Psyche filled his heart. Eros was captivated, drawn to her gentle presence, and found himself unable to carry out Aphrodite's cruel order. Instead, he vowed to protect her, visiting her in secret and keeping her safe from harm. Thus began a forbidden love that would defy the very will of the gods, as Eros abandoned his mission and followed his heart. In despair over his beloved daughter's future, Psyche's father sought guidance from Apollo's oracle, hoping for a sign that would explain her lonely fate. But the oracle's message was harsh and unexpected. Psyche was destined to marry not a mortal prince but a terrible, monstrous being. She was to be taken to the top of a high mountain and left there alone, where her destined husband, the creature, would come to claim her. This revelation devastated Psyche's family. Her parents wept bitterly, torn between their love for their daughter and the will of the gods. With heavy hearts and deep sorrow, they prepared for the painful journey. They dressed Psyche in bridal attire, not to celebrate a joyful union, but as a symbolic farewell. Together, they climbed the mountain, each step heavier than the last, as they approached the spot where Psyche would be left alone. As they left her, Psyche stood bravely, feeling a mix of fear and acceptance, ready to face the mysterious fate that awaited her. Psyche, abandoned by her family and left to face her unknown fate, was swept away by the gentle breeze of the god Zephyrus. The wind carried her to a magnificent palace, hidden away in a magical realm. It was a place of unimaginable beauty, with glittering halls, lush gardens, and treasures beyond belief. She was greeted by unseen servants who catered to her every need, offering her a life of luxury and comfort. It was here that she met her mysterious husband, Eros. Though he was kind and gentle, he kept his true identity hidden from her. Every night, he visited her in the darkness, speaking sweetly to her, but always leaving before the light of day. He forbade her from ever seeing his face, warning her that it would bring dire consequences if she did. Though intrigued by her enigmatic husband, Psyche struggled with her curiosity, wondering who this unseen lover truly was. She was torn between her love for him and the temptation to unveil the mystery. Psyche's life of wonder and mystery was shadowed by the growing curiosity she could not silence. Her jealous sisters, who had heard of her enchanted marriage, sowed doubts in her mind. They convinced her that her husband must be a terrible monster, deceiving her with his kindness. Unable to resist any longer, Psyche decided to look upon his face while he slept. One night, as Eros lay peacefully beside her, she crept quietly to his side, holding a lamp to illuminate his features. When she finally saw his face, it was not that of a monstrous beast, but of Eros, the radiant god of love. Shocked and mesmerized, she accidentally spilled a drop of hot oil from the lamp onto his skin. Eros awoke with a start, his eyes filled with hurt and betrayal. He realized that Psyche had broken his trust, and deeply disappointed, he fled, leaving her heartbroken and alone. Psyche had lost the love she held most dear, all because of her uncontainable curiosity. Devastated by her actions and desperate to win back Eros, Psyche set out on a journey to find him. Along the way, she encountered the wrath of Aphrodite, who was furious with her for disobeying her son. Determined to punish Psyche, Aphrodite set forth a series of impossible tasks. The first task was to sort a massive heap of mixed grains, wheat, barley, and poppy seeds into separate piles by sundown. Psyche, exhausted and discouraged, thought she would never succeed. But as she wept, ants came to her aid, sorting the grains with remarkable speed. Next, Aphrodite ordered Psyche to retrieve a golden fleece from a dangerous, fire-breathing flock of sheep. Psyche, brave and determined, listened to a river god's advice and managed to collect the fleece without harm. Each task seemed impossible, but Psyche's determination and kindness won her the favor of the gods, who secretly helped her. Yet, Aphrodite's cruelty was far from over, as Psyche's trials continued. Psyche was tasked with a series of impossible trials set by the vengeful Aphrodite. Her first task was to separate a massive pile of mixed grains, wheat, barley, and oats, before nightfall. Just as despair began to take hold, a group of ants appeared and, seeing her struggle, quickly sorted the grains for her. The second trial required Psyche to collect golden fleece from fire-breathing sheep. These dangerous creatures guarded the precious fleece in a field. Psyche wisely waited for the sheep to rest, then gathered the golden strands from the thorns without being harmed. The third challenge was to retrieve water from the river Styx, a task no mortal could accomplish. Desperate, Psyche was guided by an eagle, sent by Zeus, who flew her across the river. She successfully collected the water from the river's treacherous waters. Each challenge tested Psyche's resourcefulness, but through perseverance and help from unexpected allies, she completed them, gaining Aphrodite's reluctant respect. For her final task, Aphrodite commanded Psyche to travel to the underworld and bring back some of Persephone's beauty in a box. It was a nearly impossible task, fraught with danger, but Psyche, determined to prove her love for Eros, set out bravely. With divine help, she navigated the dark and perilous underworld, eventually reaching Persephone's realm. The queen of the underworld gave Psyche the box, warning her not to open it, as its contents were meant only for her and Eros. On her return, however, Psyche's curiosity got the best of her. What could be so special inside the box? Unable to resist, she opened it. As soon as she did, a cloud of dark, poisonous mist erupted from the box, engulfing her. Psyche collapsed into an eternal, dreamless sleep. Unaware of the true nature of the box, Psyche's curiosity led to her undoing. The gods watched as she slept, her fate hanging in the balance. Eros, still deeply in love with Psyche, searched for her after she fell into the eternal sleep caused by the box. When he found her, lying motionless and unaware, his heart ached. He gently kissed her, hoping to break the spell. Though he could not fully awaken her, his love for her burned stronger than ever. Determined not to lose Psyche, Eros went to Zeus, the king of the gods, pleading for his intervention. He asked the mighty god to allow Psyche to awaken and for their love to finally triumph over the obstacles that had torn them apart. Moved by Eros's unwavering devotion, Zeus agreed to grant his request. With Zeus's divine intervention, Psyche was awakened from her deep slumber. She opened her eyes, and the first thing she saw was Eros, smiling down at her. Their love had endured countless trials, but now, with the blessing of the gods, they were finally united. Together, they would begin a new chapter, free from the interference of fate. Moved by the trials Psyche endured for love, Zeus granted her immortality, allowing her to live alongside Eros in the divine realm of Olympus. With this gift, Psyche was freed from the mortal world, forever united with her beloved god of love. Together, they ascended to the heights of Olympus, where their love, which had overcome countless challenges, was celebrated by the gods. Psyche's mortal struggles were now behind her, replaced by eternal joy in the company of Eros. Their bond was unbreakable, a symbol of enduring love that transcended all obstacles. In time, Psyche and Eros had a daughter, Hedone, the goddess of pleasure and happiness. Her birth marked the completion of their perfect union and symbolized the eternal bliss they would enjoy forever. Hedone embodied the joy and contentment that her parents shared, a lasting gift to the world. Thus, Psyche's journey concluded with her transformation into a goddess, eternally by Eros' side, their love forever immortalized in the heavens.